If you close your eyes, this sounds exactly like an out-the-front knife. But open them and you're looking at the Nitecore EDC17. It's a flat stainless steel flashlight that aims to replace 3 different tools in your pocket. Coming in around $95, this is definitely a premium piece of equipment. It's built from stainless steel with a matte PVD coating, so it feels like a solid slab of metal as opposed to a cheap plastic toy. It has a substantial dense quality feel, but despite that, it's quite carry friendly, weighing only 3.74 ounces. So while it feels tough in the hand, it won't drag down your pocket. I've taken this on trips. I recently took it to the Steelers-Bengals game, go Steelers, and I drove home with it. I've taken it to work, and really, it disappeared in my pocket because it is such a thin light with a deep carry pocket clip that I honestly didn't know that it was in my pocket, but it was there if I needed it. Before we talk about brightness, let's talk about how you use this light because the interface is a little bit unique, but pretty straightforward. You have a physical slide switch right here and a mode button. You push the slide up to turn it on and up through the different brightnesses, and while it's on, you can then press the mode button to switch through the 3 modes. It does have mode memory, so if you like to always use the white light, probably the most useful, you turn it off on that and you can always turn it back on to that same. One of the things I didn't like about the interface initially before I got used to it was that, well, how do I know what I'm going to turn it on to? But again, the mode memory is nice because generally most people are probably going to use the white light, so you can leave it defaulted to that. Looking at the white light performance, the slide switch gives you instant access to 3 standard levels. Low of 50 lumens, and really around the house, this is plenty bright. You don't need any brighter than this. Medium of 220 lumens for 3.5 hours, and then all the way to high, 1500 lumens. It will say it throws this 250 yards. Realistically, because of the beam pattern on this, which is kind of a medium flood, medium throw, you're not going to get quite that much of a distance. They say it will stay on this high mode for 1 hour, 45 minutes, but realistically, this really, even just in this brief period, the head starts getting pretty warm, and you're not going to need that much output for that long, and you're probably not going to tolerate it, the heat from it. There's also a hidden ultra low mode, and you get to that by holding down the mode button and then clicking it on to the low, and that is 1 lumen for 260 hours. So you can see 1 lumen there, off, going back on, that's the 50 lumens. Hold it down, onto the low. The only thing I don't like about that as much is that you have to essentially turn the laser on briefly to get to that low mode. I wish there was a way to get to that without the laser. Not a huge deal, but it is what it is. Next is the green laser. It is a bright Class 3R laser. 3R lasers are a low to medium power laser that is considered potentially hazardous for some direct viewing conditions, but the risk of severe injury from a momentary accidental exposure is relatively low. And this is what you would generally find in laser pointers. And I actually get more use out of this than I thought I would at work when I want to show people stuff on a computer. I can sit back from wherever I am and say, hey, look, click right here. And they're always impressed by my sudden laser pointer popping out of my pocket. Also on the laser, it has a momentary from off. If you just push down the mode button, it will come on for a momentary laser. So again, if you just want to take it out of your pocket and say, hey, look, right here, and then light up, you get momentary function with the laser. And then last is the UV mode, 1350 milliwatts. It does have the different brightnesses. You can use this to check currency and ideas or spot checking cleanliness. Admittedly, I did not use this to check the hotel that I stayed in last weekend because honestly, some things you just don't want to know. But you can if you want, if you're a risk taker. Quick note on the design, as I mentioned, it has a pretty deep carry pocket clip with a nice turn up here, so that's going to go into your pocket pretty easy. On the back here, there is a built-in glass breaker. You can see it as a small bead thing. If you don't want that, it does come with this little plastic piece here that you can swap out. And that's just a plastic thing that will not give you this. Really, I didn't know that this glass breaker was there until I realized it was there. And it's not something that's really going to tear up your pocket, but if you are ever in an emergency need where you need to break glass, it's there, and I don't really think you need to swap this out, but you can. Quick tip, if you are going to break glass and you have the time, please put gloves on and don't put your hand through the glass because you will chop up your hand, and I've sewn up way too many glass injuries and they are not enjoyable. However, if you're in the sinking car, okay, smack it with what you have. For charging this, it does have a built-in 1500 milliamp hour battery, and it charges via the USB-C port right here on the side. It does come with a USB-A to USB-C cable if you don't already have 50 of those. And as long as we're talking about what it comes with, it also comes with a lanyard. On the side here, there is a charge indicator from 1 to 4 lights. Give you an idea of when you need to charge it. Comparing this to an Olight Arc Pro, you can see they are virtually the same size, roughly the same thickness. The emitters on the head are very similar. They both have deep carry pocket clips. The Arc Pro does have the option for putting out a focus beam or a floody beam or a UV light or the laser, whereas this just has the kind of medium flood throw and then the UV and the laser. So is this worth $95? Some people will find the non-replaceable battery a positive or a negative. I really like that because I like the ease of the USB-C charging, not having to worry about spare batteries. I love the form factor of these flat lights that are becoming popular these days. This one I love being able to pull out of my pocket and know exactly what brightness I'm getting. I really like the light. It's small, it's easy to carry, it disappears in your pocket. Yes, it's not cheap, but I think these are some great lights with tons of functionality. I'll drop some links down below. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.